I hope someday I'll be inspiring more young people to join me on this path. He wrote that publicly to over 2 million followers. And the terrifying part, he was right. Ramon Olorunwa Abbas, born in Oworonshoki, Lagos, son of a taxi driver and a bread seller. He grew up with very little and he died. Not literally, but in every way that matters, with everything. Until the night the FBI came for him. This is not just the story of one man's greed. This is the story of what happens when ambition has nowhere legal to go, when a society creates hunger it cannot feed, and when one man decides that if the world would not give him a seat at the table, he will steal the entire table. Welcome. Let's talk about the Hushpuppi Effect. To understand Ramon Abbas, you have to understand the city that made him. Lagos is not a city for the faint hearted. It is loud, relentless, and deeply unequal. The kind of city where you can watch a Bentley crawl past a child selling water in traffic and nobody blinks. Growing up in Oworonshoki, one of Lagos's working class neighborhoods, Ramon saw that contrast every single day. Now, I want to be careful here because understanding someone's background is not the same as excusing their choices. Millions of people grew up with less than Ramon Abbas and never defrauded anyone. But if we want to understand the hush puppy effect, why he happened, and why young men are still celebrating him from prison walls, we have to start at the beginning. Ramon did not want slow and steady, he wanted fast and visible. And in a country where the system consistently fails the people at the bottom, that desire is not unusual. What was unusual was how far he was willing to go to satisfy it. He started small, selling secondhand clothes in Lagos. Then he discovered Instagram. And Instagram, for a man like Ramon, was not social media platform. It was an announcement system. He moved to Kuala Lumpur in 2014, a city that at the time had become a known hub for cybercrime. And quietly, methodically, he began to build the operation that would eventually make him one of FBI's most wanted. By the time the world noticed Ramon Abbas, he was already a phenomenon. 2.8 million Instagram followers, a penmat apartment at the Palazzo Versace Hotel in Dubai, one of the most exclusive addresses in the world, 13 luxury cars, a wardrobe built entirely from houses that Gucci, Fendi, and Louis Vuitton built. He wore designers the way other people wear armor, loudly, deliberately, as a message. The message was simple: I have arrived and I want you to watch. Here is what separated Ramon from every fraudster before him. When people steal, they usually hide. They keep a low profile. They move money quietly. They do not post their crimes on Instagram. Ramon did the opposite. He wanted everybody to know that he had arrived. He wanted the celebrities, the footballers, the Nigerian politicians photographed at his side. He wanted the lifestyle to be undeniable. And in doing so, he accidentally built one of the most dangerous things a criminal can build: a brand. Young men across Nigeria and across the diaspora were watching, and many of them were not watching to be warned. They were watching to take notes. That is the hush puppy effect. Let's talk about what Ramon Abbas did because the numbers are staggering. In just 18 months, he conspired to launder over $300 million. His method was called the Business Email Compromise (BEC). A deceptively simple scheme. Hackers gain access to corporate email accounts. When a large transaction is about to happen, they intercept, sending a fraudulent invoice from an address that looks almost identical to the real one. The money goes somewhere it was never supposed to go. His victims were not faceless corporations. They included a Premier League football club in England, targeted for millions of pounds, a law firm in New York, the funder of nearly $1 million, a Qatari businessman trying to build a school for children, conned out of over $1 million through an elaborate fake bank scheme. And in one of the most chilling details of the entire case, the FBI found that some of the money Ramon laundered was linked to North Korean state hackers. His operation had become a node in global cybercrime network that funded a nuclear program. A boy from Oworonshoki connected to Pyongyang. If it were fiction, nobody would believe it. On the night of June 10, 2020, Dubai police executed what they call Operation Fox Hunt 2. They moved into the Palazzo Versace hotel in the early hours of the morning, into the apartment of the man who had spent years announcing his own wealth to the world. Ramon Abbas was in bed. What they found in the apartment tells you everything you need to know about the operation Ramon had built. 13 luxury cars worth $7 million, 21 laptops, 47 smartphones, 15 memory storage devices, 5 external hard drives, and 800,000 emails. 800,000 potential victims stored on his devices. He was not living a double life, he was running a corporation. Here's the detail that should give us all pause. After his arrest, his Instagram account gained 500,000 new followers. People were not horrified, they were fascinated. Some were grieving, some were celebrating a man that they had never met, who had stolen from people they would never know. The brand had outlived the freedom. In November 2022, United States District Judge Otis Wright sentenced Ramon Olorunwa Abbas to 11 years and 3 months in federal prison. He was ordered to pay $1.7 million in restitution to two fraud victims. He is currently imprisoned at FCI Fox States in New Jersey. His scheduled release date is August 6, 2029. He pleaded guilty, he apologized to his family, he commended the FBI for doing a thorough job. And from prison, his posts still have comments. Young men still write, "We miss you, you were the greatest, come back soon." Here's the question I keep coming back to. Could Ramon Abbas have done this legally? Think about what the man actually was. He understood how money moves across borders. He built a global network across multiple countries and currencies. He had the charisma to attract celebrities, politicians, and business people. He understood branding before most people in Nigeria knew what a personal brand was. Those are not the skills of a criminal, those are the skills of a CEO. But here's the honest answer to my own question. Probably not. Not in the way he wanted. Because Rahman did not want to build slowly. He did not want to grind for 10 years to become a CEO. He wanted the jets now, the Versace apartment now, the designer bags now, the celebrities photographing him now. The Nigerian economy, with its collapsed infrastructure, its currency devaluation, its unemployment rate that swallows young graduates whole, does not reward patience the way Western economies pretend to. And Ramon Abbas looked at that system, calculated the odds, and chose a different path. A catastrophically wrong path, but a deliberate one. Ramon Abbas is in a prison cell in New Jersey, and yet the Hushpuppi effect is still very much alive. Because the conditions that created him have not changed, young men in Nigeria are still watching a system that seems designed to exclude them. They are still doing the same calculation Ramon did. They are still calculating that the legal path is too slow, too uncertain, and too dependent on connections and corruptions they do not have access to. And so they look at Ramon Abbas, not at the prison sentence, but at the jets, the cars, the way celebrities stood next to him and smiled. This is the real danger of the Hush Puppy story. Not that one man committed fraud, but that his visibility, his deliberate, calculated, Instagram documented visibility, created a template. He showed a generation that it was possible, that you could come from nothing in Oworonshoki and one day post pictures from a private jet with a footballer. He just forgot to show them the ending. Ramon Abbas will be released from prison in 2029. He will be 46 years old. What happens next? Whether he rebuilds legally, whether he becomes a cautionary tale or a comeback story, remains to be seen. But the Hush Puppy effect will not end with its release because the effect was never really about Ramon. It was about what we celebrate, what we reward with attention, what we teach young people success looks like. And until that changes, there will always be another Hush Puppy. If this video made you think, drop a comment below. If you want to know, do you think Ramon Abbas could have made it legally? Or was fraud always the only path he was ever going to choose? Subscribe if you want more conversations like this one and share this with someone who needs to hear this. See you in the next one.